so I play Yamin and lots of other characters. I've never actually counted them all, but
it's 25 in the original, isn't it? But then I think you do
a lot of characters. And I'm sort of the one woman of this one woman show. Yeah, that's me.
And I'm Jordan Langford, and I'm the director of the market.
So the piece is written by Scarborough writer Christopher York, who is wonderful. And I saw a rehearsed reading of it back in 2017. So the Stephen Joseph Theatre, they produced the original production in 2018. So I saw a rehearsed reading of it. I was just like, this is brilliant. It's a Scarborough play, it's written for a Scarborough voice. I just thought it was excellent. And then I saw the original production in Edinburgh back in 2018 as well. Loved it, absolutely loved it. And I just sort of have been itching since then to do it because I'm so connected to the piece and the characters. And yeah, just sort of been itching to do it. So I sent it along to this one. And he was doing his masters in directing.
Yeah, I was doing my masters at Rosebruford, and we had to do a final project, like a play. You could kind of do anything really. And Shannon had been mentioning Build a Rocket slyly for a long time. And I hadn't actually read it. I'd like skimmed it and I thought, oh, it's lovely. Lots of references to Scarborough and where we're from. But then actually, when I read it, it was it was just incredible. Like reading it, and it just took me into a different world, and it just moved so quickly and so beautifully. And I was like, we have to do this. So we did our first sharings of it then, didn't we? And we did a few sharings and it got really good responses and feedback, so we decided to, this year
let's do it. Yeah, so that was 2022.
Yeah.
And then we sort of had this one woman show that we both loved, that we were both passionate about, and then we thought, let's see what happens. So sort of self-produced it and managed to get some venues, and here we are. Build a Rocket follows Yamin. She's a 16-year-old girl from Scarborough who finds herself pregnant, and you go on an 18-year whirlwind journey with her. You meet lots of different people, you meet her mum, you meet her friends. She goes on nights out to being a young mother and all the trials and tribulations that come with being a young single parent from a working class background. Funny, gritty and powerful.
I'm going to nick powerful. Powerful, immersive, even though that word gets overused, I'm going to say immersive. Visceral, like you feel it inside. It's like something that you're so involved in the show. Even when I'm operating the lights and sound, which I'm terrible at, I'm so invested in what she's doing. I think that's something that you see when you watch the audience. There's that much investment, something inside. She really connects with you, the character. I think visceral is a good word for that. I think a lot of people know Yamin. I think that's what's really, really special about the piece, because I think all the characters, when we were trying to research it and do all our rehearsals for the play, it was just kind of finding all those people and finding who we know and how people will connect to them, and what sort of attributes of those people will connect to. I think it's the things that will resonate are just the fact that it's a worldwide story. Everyone knows someone who's had a baby. I think every single person in the world will know
how we got here.
Had a baby, how we got here. So knowing that and that kind of aspect of the story is quite important, like that kind of the pregnancy and that whole aspect of that. Anyone in this country or any other country that sends a child to school and kind of all those things, but specifically people, I mean, we're both from a working class background. I think it really does kind of resonate with that and the struggle of kind of glass ceilings and where you're expected to be and what you're expected to do with your life and how you can overcome that and achieve incredible things is quite important, I think.
Yeah, I think it's a really universal story. A lot of people have like really warmed to Yamin, and like at the end they think she's her friend and she sort of shared the story with her, or they know somebody who's the Yamin, or they sort of connect with the idea of parenthood or working class. But I think actually from the original production in 2018, I think it actually sadly resonates more with an audience nowadays because of the current, cost of living crisis we find ourselves in. All the barriers and struggle that she faces, I think, really engage with an audience nowadays.
Yeah, totally.
Through that, it's a really funny story as well, but we're hoping that the sort of the grit and the defiance of the piece will really connect and hopefully inspire people as well. Ooh, that's a good question.
question. I think it's for people who want their eyes opening to something, actually, which I think can be anyone. I don't think it's 14 and up, because there's a bit of bad language, we've added some more. And also the themes are quite adult, but I do think that anyone from, we did have a few younger people who see it,
actually.
and they just, I don't know, they just were so engaged the whole way through, and were just listening and were just absorbing it. And I thought it was really interesting, because if they know, they potentially will know a pregnant teenager in a year at school or something, and just that kind of empathy that goes with understanding the journey that someone has to go through in that situation. I think it just kind of appealed to, I think we've had, considering we've had
a really
broad range, haven't we, of ages, so I do think it really does, every single person, every single age range seems to enjoy it.
And they've connected to something in the story, whether that's being a mum, or we've had a social worker in the audience, we've had teenagers in the audience, we've had people from working class backgrounds, we've also had people from the other end of the class system who it sort of started to really challenge perceptions. We sort of have a lot of people going, oh, I thought Yasmin was going to go to prison, or there's sort of a lot of judgment put on when you see a character like this, and actually going, oh no, she's a mum, and this is the things that she's dealt with. It's been amazing, the feedback and the conversations it's opened up afterwards.
Yeah. It was interesting at the beginning, because I didn't know how other areas, because there's a lot of very, very location-based jokes or location-based themes in the play, and we knew them instantly, really. But what interesting, on the first day of rehearsal, we went round. This will answer the question. On the first day of rehearsal, we walked around Scarborough, but from Yasmin's perspective, because we're both from Scarborough, but our version of Scarborough is different to each other. It's different to every single person, because you go to different places, you go to different, your kind of local places, you go very different. So we did her journey. It was
sort of worked out
fascinating.
From what's mentioned in the play, about where does she kind of live, because she tells you about her journey to school or from school, the places that she hangs out. So we tried to sort of work out where she lived, sort of things, you know, where she got her sweets from, which sweet shop, that sort of thing, which was really amazing.
And I think it taught us, actually, that it doesn't really matter where you're from, because when we did that trail and that journey, it wasn't our Scarborough, it was hers. So it kind of is a place, it just can be accessible to anybody. I think the themes, I think it's quite clear in the writing what sort of place or what sort of area she's in, or what sort of setting she puts herself in. I think it kind of, and you kind of narrate yourself into those places as well, so it does feel like it's quite clear.
Yeah, I think an audience can relate to her connection to her hometown. So where she goes on a night out, where she, you know, where the posh places are in her hometown, that sort of thing. But I think for us being Scarborough creatives, it's been, I've never felt so connected to a piece. Like it's sort of fueled passion to tell our story. This is Scarborough, we know these people, we know these places, but also to have a play that's written in your own accent and dialect and rhythms, like that's just been amazing to work with. And it's been amazing. We took it to Scarborough and that was absolutely wonderful. It was
incredible. You got because there's a joke in there that's very, very specific, and it gets laughs other places actually. It gets a laugh, or it gets a response. It was really interesting in Scarborough because the whole place erupted for a second and then drops again, so you see how, when they know it, like it makes sense.
But also what we're getting, which is nice, is we've only done one show in Scarborough, we've gone all over, but we've had maybe Scarboroughians in the audience, or people who went to holiday in Scarborough. So it's really sort of nice to put Scarborough on the map in that way.
And just remind people it's there, maybe. Because we have, I mean, every venue nearly we've had someone from Scarborough, which is interesting. They just see that it's on and have come and have spoken to us at the end and stuff. I think that's what's been really nice, because when you do, like you said earlier about doing a one-woman play, you get so much connection with the audience and they don't know you, and then you get to meet them after. And we always try and go out and meet everyone at the end, and so it's really interesting seeing the responses and how people deal with you as an actress and person character.
Well, so tonight we are at Greater Manchester Fringe. We're finishing our tour, and then we've got a week in Edinburgh, so the 7th to the 13th we're at the Edinburgh Fringe.
Where are we at, Shannon?
We are at just out of the box, the Caves, venue 88 with Just the Tonic at 11:20 a.m. every morning. But then after that, we don't know.
We're quite open. This wasn't supposed to happen.
No, this is very much...
It came together because we're both doing other things, and this was just something that since we did the Sharons in 2022, it was just always something we were like, because we built it to be able to go into any space. It's built to move to a theatre, a community centre, a church, a pub like we're in now, a bar. It can go anywhere because is the way we set it out. So when it came to do it again, we were like, oh, we can just accept most venues, and we have. Really.
It's just this has sort of happened sort of by blagging it really.
Yeah.
This venue's come up, oh yeah, this might work, this would work. Somehow put together a tour, then got offered a space in Edinburgh and went, oh, well, we can't really say no to that, so we're fundraising, we're just doing it. And then
borrowing some of Yasmin's spirit, as you like to say.
Yeah, let's say we're borrowing a bit of Yasmin's spirit, a bit of her grit, and just persevering. And yeah, we're gonna go to Edinburgh, get as many people in as we can, share our story, and then just see what happens. I mean, I'd love to do a community tour of it, and sort of, you know, mainly in the north, really, but anywhere, do a community tour, maybe with workshops or something alongside it would be amazing. Because the best experience we've had with this have been with no tech, in a small space, in a pub or in a community space. That would be amazing.
Where they're really connecting with her. I think that's what it is.
We don't
when
need
they're really
fancy
connected.
lights.
When we added loads of lights at one venue, and it was theatrically lovely, but then something was missing, and it was like, oh, we took all the lights out. Suddenly, it's clear. It's clear, and it's a story, and you connect with her, and you listen, you engage. You want to know what happens. You know, I don't know. It was really. It's been a learning curve about touring, about learning and changing it and building it as building a rocket as we go and changing it. I think.
Or we have had people say that possibly it could translate to screen in some way.
Yeah, we'd like to have a look into that, because that's something that I do think is a really interesting point, that it would really work well on screen.
Like either a short film or a mini series or something. So
yeah, definitely.
You never know. We are open to the rocket blasting off anywhere next.